This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's get into the event itself. King of the Ring 2001. We're right up upon the 20-year anniversary of this. Does it feel like 20 years to you, Kurt?
No, it went by very quickly. It's a blur. I just can't believe it's been over 20 years.
So here it is, Continental Airlines Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey, 445,000 homes bought it on pay-per-view. We've got a packed arena, over 17,000, nearly 18,000 fans there. And the readers of the Observer gave the show overall a thumbs down, 43% thumbs down, 20% thumbs in the middle, and 36% thumbs up. But there was no debate when it came to the best match. You and Shane won in a runaway. Let's just sort of set the stage for the show, because I think what's lost here is you didn't just wrestle this match, and you didn't wrestle just one other match. You wrestled 3 freaking times on the same pay-per-view. And as if that isn't enough, the first match is where you are concussed. Is that right?
Yeah, I got a concussion halfway through the first match with Christian, and I got lost in the match on a couple spots, and Christian had to carry me through to the end. And we were able to be successful at finishing the match. And the problem was I had a match coming up like a half hour later, and I started going over my match with Edge, and he was telling me the spots that he wanted to do. And he'd say, "Are you good with that?" And I'd say, "Okay, yeah, I'm good with that." And he'd say, I would say again, "Wait a minute, I'm not good with that. You need to repeat it." And he would repeat it. And then I said, "Okay, I have that." And then a second later, I'd say, "I don't have it. Can you repeat it again?" He looked at the agent, Johnny Laurinaitis. He goes, "What do I do if he forgets out there?" And Johnny Laurinaitis says, "Just pin his ass." So, I just think it's funny, a Canadian pro wrestler having to pin an Olympic gold medalist who has a concussion that's not thinking straight. I don't know how that's possible, especially if it turns out being a shoot because I'm not coherent.
It's so crazy to think about. I mean, these days, of course, none of this would happen. If there were 3 matches planned, but you get a concussion in the first one, they might let you finish the first one. But as soon as you come back through the curtain, the other 2 matches are off, right?
Yeah, things were a lot different back in the early 2000s. That's before the wellness policy, the drug policy. There were a lot of things that they didn't have established at that point. So you were able to continue on regardless, because we didn't have a doctor there.
Right.
We didn't get a doctor till like 2003 or 4. And we had a trainer there, but he can't test you for concussions.
Right.
And they knew I had 2 more matches. So there was nothing they could do until wait till the end of the night to take me to the hospital.
It's just crazy to think about, because if this match would have happened a handful of years later, we wouldn't have gotten the match that you had with Shane. It would have been somebody else, but things were different here in 2001. So they let you keep going. Back in those days, did they just say, sort of a football term at the time, I think, "Oh, he just got his bell rung"?
Yeah, that's what it was. He got his bell rung. That's what the trainer said. I don't know if he has a concussion, but he got his bell rung. I'm not sure if bell rung means concussion.
Yeah.
This means that you're a little dazed. I don't know. I don't know the terminology of it, but I did get my bell rung, and I definitely had a concussion.
That's what's funny is I think in hindsight, we all look back and we say, boy, anytime somebody quote unquote had their bell rung, that means they got a concussion. I mean, to break it down, we're talking about a brain bruise. Your head moved very violently. Your brain touched your skull. Now there's a bruise. You're not thinking all the way straight. But we used to sort of just have these sort of fun, almost like pee-wee football terms for a major traumatic injury that we wouldn't know about for, I don't know, 5 more years, maybe at this point.
Yeah, probably 5 more years, probably around 2006, 2007. But you're right. It's he bumped his head, or it's they try to downplay it, but it is what it is. You get your bell rung, you have a concussion.
This is an interesting King of the Ring because it's the only one without Jerry Lawler, and the finals are Team Wreck. It's Rhino, Edge, Christian, and Kurt. The first match on the show, of course, they know you're pulling not double, but triple duty. So you wrestle Christian first. You guys go 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Meltzer would say Christian countered the slam, but hit the unprettier. And then Shane broke up the pin, helping Angle. Angle then got the pin with the Angle Slam, and the storyline was that Shane was helping Angle to advance him to tire him out before the match, which I guess is a good story. And even though you were concussed, you still got 3 stars out of this match, according to Dave. Anything else stand out about this match besides the concussion, which I think happens with one of the belly to bellies, right? What caused the concussion?
We just bumped heads, and when I threw him, I caught him with a belly to belly. We bumped heads, and then when I threw him, I hit the back of the head on the mat, on plywood, and I reached up and grabbed my head really quickly. You'll be able to, if you watch the match versus Christian at King of the Ring 2001, you'll see when I grabbed my head. And that's when I got the concussion. It was about halfway through the match.
And then for the first time ever, at least since the King of the Ring's a pay-per-view, you have the defending King of the Ring in the finals, and they're trying to push that this could be the first time that anyone has ever won it back to back. Before it was on pay-per-view and TV, Savage and Brett did it, but this would be a big deal. And it's kind of fun that it's with your old pals, you know, Rhino and Christian and Edge, you all ride together. The match with Edge, though, goes 10 minutes and 21 seconds. And Meltzer would say that Edge won, but the tournament had 0 impact. He said the build-up was lousy. The finals were put in the middle of the show like they were just Angle's preliminary test for his real match, and there was no real emphasis put on Edge winning the rest of the night. Let's take a time out before we keep talking about the rest of the match. That's probably a pretty good observation that, you know, when this is all over with, nobody's talking about your match with Edge. Nobody's talking about Edge winning King of the Ring. They're talking about you and Shane. Did you realize at the time, it's not like it's your creative, it's not your fault, but did you realize at the time, boy, we're kind of doing a disservice here for Edge?
Oh, we didn't realize it at the time because I didn't know that Edge wasn't going to get a King of the Ring celebration. He wasn't going to get a cape and a crown. It was pretty sad that Edge wasn't able to capitalize on this. I mean, people will remember him as a King of the Ring winner, but they're not going to remember the event.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't make a big deal out of it. I think the reason is, you know, they were trying to get everything underneath the WCW invasion angle, and that King of the Ring storyline took secondary to the invasion angle. And I think that they used the King of the Ring storyline to further the invasion angle, because I was representing at the time WWE, Shane was representing WCW. And I think that's you know, Shane wanted me to wrestle 3 matches that night. So Shane was involved in all 3 matches.
Right.
So obviously they were using Shane and the WCW invasion angle. They were using this King of the Ring tournament for a storyline for WCW invasion.
And as a result, it feels like the King of the Ring, which is normally the primary focus of, you know, a show called King of the Ring, it's almost just the backdrop for what you've got going on with Shane, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, that was the biggest match of the night. It was the most important match against Shane. And that's what Vince was focused on. That's what the WWE was focused on. They just they were resetting everything, and everybody in the company had to be involved in the WCW invasion angle. So you're either on WCW or you're WWE. But they stopped all storylines and went strictly WCW invasion at the time.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.